Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Eye Opener Society. Wow, we have got so much going on, and no different with this show. Few things I want to get out of the way. First off, come hopefully December 23rd, and I don't know when you're listening to this, but right now, today is the 8th. The 22nd on a Sunday, I am sitting down in the studio with my spiritual guide in life. Jen from MindsEye Metaphysical is going to be here in this studio live with me, and I can't tell you how excited I am. It's going to be an amazing show. I'll give you a little background. Jen runs a metaphysical shop, MindsEye Metaphysical, mindseye and she's been thinking about selling Ouija boards. And I think she's got a little backlash on that because a lot of people feel that they're evil and all that. We're going to sit down and have a real conversation about the Ouija board, and we're going to put our 2 cents into everything. And we also, on her Facebook group page, she's also getting ideas from other people, and we may use some of those ideas on the show too. But here's the other thing that's so exciting about this upcoming episode. Hannah will also be in the studio, and Hannah will be joining us. This may be a one more time thing. We don't know. And I know a lot of people are missing Hannah, but Hannah will be in the studio for that. So it's going to be myself, Jen, and Hannah. And I am super excited for this. This is going to be one of those great big episodes. I don't know how long it's going to run, but regardless how long, we're going to do it. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in again. I know things have been shaken up a lot and things are changing. And speaking of changing and speaking of Hannah and speaking of co-hosts, we are introducing a new co-host for the show, not as a replacement for Hannah, but just someone that I can talk to when I do these episodes while Hannah is away. You may remember her a while back. I was at one of these vending events and I met her, and I loved her little business that she does, tea leaf readings in the valley. Her name is Jennifer Miller, and she's been on the show a couple times before, but now I am going to have her as the co-host. And I think her and I really connect. I think she has so much to lend. And as far as Eye Opener Society and our metaphysical aspect, Jennifer will be able to really carry these conversations out. So let's welcome Jennifer Miller back to the show. Jennifer, so good to have
Hi.
you here.
I'm really honored, and I hope people listen. And if you don't listen, that's okay too. It's it's a little nerve-wracking. Hopefully I'm not trying to replace Hannah in any way, but I still hope that people want to listen to me. But if they don't, I understand. It's not, you know.
Yeah, I don't think, with this audience, I know we have a very good audience, and I do know people do tune in, to hear Hannah because Hannah wears a heart on her sleeve and she has so much to lend. And when she comes back, she will be doing that. And even if she doesn't come back for every episode, she may come back and really talk about some subjects I know the world has to hear based upon what she's going through. So that will come in due time. And I still feel that you're a great addition to the show, and people should listen to, what you're going to be saying and all. And we're going to start off the show right. Um, I had a topic that I brought up, and it means something to me. It means something to the scientific community, and I'm sure it means something different to you. Cracks in the cosmic universe. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And first off, give me your thoughts on it first before I go down my road.
Well, I actually have a degree in science, so when I think of it, I think of like wave function, quantum mechanics, the multiverse. Like that's like where my brain goes. Yeah, Marvel comics.
Right. I did just
But
watch Deadpool too, so
that was pretty good. I
yeah.
mean, who doesn't love Doggy Pool? Like that dog is so ugly, it's cute. Like
Right.
so cute. Um, but yeah, like I watched a thing on it recently. It was wave functioning. Wave function is it the building blocks of reality, and PBS actually produced it, and it was really interesting. There's a lot to unpack there, but if you guys have the opportunity to watch it, I definitely suggest you know watching this because it basically talks about how wave function um kind of like works its way with the multiverse. I don't know if you ever heard of anything like that before, or
Yeah, and you see, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, and I wanted to hear everybody's ideas because, on a scientific level, yeah, these cracks in the universe supposedly they do exist. They just haven't been able to actually see them, or at least not with the telescopes. And this goes back to whatever you believe in, as far as the Big Bang theory, and it's
Uh-huh.
kind of almost like Earth and the Earth's crust and the buildup, and there's different levels of it. They're basically saying that the universe is kind of made up like that too, as well. So I can take the scientific end of it, and it's fantastic. Like you say, there's so much to unpack there, but I take it to a metaphysical level too. And I like to apply science, and I like to apply it into my own life and see exactly where this leads. And I didn't even mention the cracks in the universe. I never mentioned to you, because this is how conversations start, why I brought it up or anything. It's just something that it was kind of a title I wanted for this episode based on things that are going on in my life. So we'll have a little conversation. So I'll put my side into this. Lately, what's going on with co-hosting and Hannah not being on the show and different decisions, things that are going to be coming up in my life, decisions I'm going to have to make. And, there's some big things going on. I think the universe on a metaphysical level, it's all planned out, but it's planned out on all different dimensions. Decisions have been made, already, as far as yes, no, maybes, the different possibilities, they all exist. The multiverse, it's on all different levels. Life already, came and went and all that. So I'm thinking every decision that I had made recently and the way I thought things were going to go, that laid a foundation right there in the universe. But now something happens, and decisions that were made have created now these cracks in the universe, because I was supposed to go in one direction, but now because of certain decisions in life and all, I can't go in those. I have to make new decisions now. So that's the building blocks, and that's what's creating these cosmic cracks in a personal universe. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I do think that, like, yeah, you have your foundation, like you have your plans, and if they don't work out, you have to make other plans. It's basically like a trickle effect. Like, this event happens and it causes you to go and choose this. And like you said about it's pre-planned. As soon as you said that, I kind of thought Donnie Darko, like, how your plan is already just, it's kind of just going that way anyway. Like, that experience was supposed to happen and set you in that direction. So, it might not be the plan that you wanted, but it's the universe's plan. Like, you need to go with it. Just, buckle up and enjoy the ride. And yeah, I agree with that. Like, you can make decisions and plans all you want, but sometimes the universe just has other plans for you that you're just not, prepared for, or even like really wanting, but it's experience that you need. It sees that you need to, do this for yourself, and it'll set you in that plan that it has already. So I don't, I do believe like people have free will, but I also believe that people have like that plan that it's just inevitable. It's going to happen. Maybe it's not the same direction, but you're still going to end up at the same place.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
yeah, and that's why I brought this up, because I just found it fascinating. Like, cracks in the cosmic universe just came across my mind, and that's usually how my mind works, and that's how I wanted to use it as a title for this episode. But yeah, there's so many different meanings to it, especially when there's a real life meaning to it, or at least a scientific meaning to it. But everybody has their own direction that's going on in life, but yet we are all connected. Like the Mandela effect, the decision somebody makes in their life that you don't know across the globe can affect certain series of events. And the way the universe, at least in my mind, the way it plays out, it's going off of your wants, your desires, your needs, but it doesn't always follow a path. You can come to these crossroads where you have to make a decision. But these building blocks of the cosmic universe, they've already occurred. And that's why decisions, no matter what decision you make, there's going to be a set outcome for it because it already happened. And that's where these cracks come. So if I'm looking at my life right now to try and make this a little bit clearer, is I had a whole plan for the new year and what I was going to do. And that was the building blocks of the, universe. And that's what I had seen. But now with all of the recent events that are going on, everything has to change. So there was a foundation already built out for the one direction I was going in. And that's there. That's one crack in the universe. But now I'm going to be coming up to making decisions, and it's going to lead me into different, directions. And those are going to be new foundations that are in this, cosmic universe. So no matter what decision, even if nothing comes of this and I go back along my normal path, that path already exists. It's already there. It's already a crack in the universe. Maybe none of this makes sense. But I think that's the conversation. I think that's the fascination with the metaphysical and what we believe as human beings, and everybody believes a certain way.
Um, so like when I'm giving a tea reading, I always say, nothing is set in stone. And I know that you're like the building blocks. Sometimes when you plan for things and you have like this really big hope for it and it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, sometimes I know people get kind of bitter about it and get upset. I think the grieving process actually is a part of this in a way. You're grieving the plan that you had and the experience that you wanted to have doing that, and you don't get that. Like you said, like the universe has other plans for you. Like have things thrown in your way. Like you say you're just going to work, any old day, and a truck hits you. You didn't plan for that to happen. You didn't have that in your plans. It did. So like now you're going to the hospital, you have to get, checked up and, any type of medical intervention. And then you have to take some time off work. That wasn't part of your plan either. So like grieving certain things as well, I think also goes with cracks in the universe, like grieving certain experiences and plans that you had that didn't work out. And that's why I always say when I'm doing the tea leaf reading, I'm saying nothing is set in stone. So like I could be reading your tea leaves for you, right? And because I did that, it sends you off in a different direction to something else, right? It could change everything that's going on. So I agree with this, the what you're discussing and saying. And I find it really interesting because, even an interaction with somebody, and it could be like the best positive interaction, like you could feel so energized and just really lighthearted and just feel great after this conversation. But it sets you into a different, you know, plan then. And it wasn't something you expected. And it can have a good outcome. It can have a bad outcome. That's the part that's kind of crazy about, cracks in the universe, things that affect your life in different ways. And I think it's pretty interesting. Like, because really, like you say, you might have plans, but do you really have a plan? Because it's going to
Right.
change. So
I'll
yeah,
tell you.
cracks in the universe definitely is fitting.
Uh-huh. And now here's another to throw it in deeper, something that I don't understand much, and it's only because I don't think I have that ability or anything. And hopefully I'm saying it right. Akashic records, your entire life is all recorded. And a lot of people in the metaphysical believe in that. And it's like literally records of your life. And that you can read into these things. And some people have the ability to read these Akashic records. I think a lot of the cracks in the universe actually have to do with that. Like they're separate little vaults and different paths that you took in life and paths that you may have taken and chances that you could have taken. There's an outcome for each and every one of them. And if you could read those, that might actually help you to make decisions in your life or where you have been or where you're going.
But also, what happens, it could inhibit you, though, also, if you think about it, because you could be like, oh, this is already planned out for me. What's the point? You
Mhm.
know? And that's not a good feeling. That's
Right.
that's a that's a it's a pretty bad feeling when you're like, what's the point if I already have this planned out? Like, so I could do something different, but I'm still gonna end up in that same place. So, I mean, it's interesting, but it can also be kind of like damaging in a way. I would think, because then it would be like, well, what's the point? I'm gonna make this decision. It's still gonna end up there. Um, well, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, but it's deep, and I like that. That's the
Yeah.
discussions I like to have because yes, they're deep, and people they're on both sides of the fence. Either yes, we have free will. No, we don't have free will. I believe we have free will, but I also believe that everything's laid out for us for whatever decision that we make. It's all there. It already happened. There is already an outcome for all of it.
Right.
And us as, human beings, when we sit and just let our minds roam on this, that's freeing. Because a lot of people, like in everyday life, everybody thinks, oh, we're just getting up and going to work and, then coming home, doing our chores. It becomes so mundane. We don't look out into the big picture. We don't look out into the universe. We don't ask the universe as much as we should be for things that we want. Positive thoughts lead to positive outcomes. And then a lot of people say, well, I want all these positive outcomes, but I'm always getting negativity. But they're forgetting that a lot of that negativity, the things that are happening to you, are preparing you for the next step to get you to where you want to go. I even struggle with this. I was like, why is all of this happening? Why are there so many bad things going on? And I don't take a moment every now and then, and I have to realize these are just lessons. I have to get past these in order to achieve what I want. The universe is giving them to me. I want something out of the universe, but it's not going to just happen. It doesn't work that way. We have to go down certain roads in order for those things to happen.
Right. Character building is one of those things. Also, like, if you want things to change, you need to be the change that you want to see. And I forget who said that, and I know someone's gonna know. So if you do know, guys, let us know, because I think it might be either Gandhi or Shaw or somebody that, very important, that be the change. So like, you're saying that, people want these changes, but you know, and they're always in the comfort of just the same old same. They don't actually think about, hey, I could make these changes. I could, instead of going home and just doing chores, I could go home and just play with my kids. Because in a way, that also changes their outcome, their perspective, their day. It brings, like what you say, cracks in the universe. Like, your interaction with them might change their day too. So instead of just, going with the humdrum, the comfortable, stuff that's going on in your life, go home and do something different. It doesn't even have to be big things. You go home and just, make yourself a cup of tea if you don't normally do that. Or like I said, go home and play with your kids if you don't, those chores will still be there, Um, but if you want change, you have to actually do the change. Like, you have to be the change that you want to see, instead of expecting your surrounding, like, people in your life to do that for you, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. And I'll bring up a personal thing. Yeah, coming home and just doing something different and being that change you want to be. Not too long ago, a few months ago, just before winter, cracks everybody up, but whatever. Let your freak flag fly. I wanted for so long to have a monk's robe, hood and all. And I said, screw it. I ordered one. And I was wearing it around the house, like constantly. And I was taking all the heat for that. But guess what? It changed me. When I put it on, I just felt different. I felt like, especially for meditation, it helped me to meditate with the hood and all. It changed my space, and I was happy. You know what? That's all that matters. If you're happy. That's all. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So yeah, change a piece of clothing, change the way you wear it, change the colors of your wall, anything, and you'll be amazed. You're either going to really like it or it's going to really change your life and you're going to follow that path.
So you wearing the robe, though, like, it brightened everybody's, like, mood around you, because it gave them a good laugh. So it trickled down, cracks in the universe. Like, your whatever you did trickled down onto them and made them happy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I think people need to also think about that too. Like, you go somewhere and you're like in a terrible mood, sit in the car and take a breath because you're going to interact with other people. That is going to affect their day. It could change their direction. It could, and it could be for the worst. It could be for the best. So, like, think about that, in a positive way or, I guess a negative way if you want to, but you're cracks in the universe. Like you're touching someone else's life and it's changing their direction in a way as well. So like the robe, you probably brightened everybody's day at your house wearing that because it gave them a little bit of a laugh and you felt good about it too because you were wearing something that made you feel aligned with yourself and with your meditating. So that's kind of cool. Like, it's a really good thing. Um when you can brighten other people's day around you with just something so simple.
Hmm. I don't mind being the court jester. And that's what the court jester does. You make other people's lives happy, by making fun of yourself. And I have no problem with that. As serious as I take it, as something as small as a robe, I took it very seriously because I just, like, I knew in my mind, I had some sort of connection to it. What it is, I don't know. The universe knows, but I wouldn't have experienced it unless I actually went and did it. So actually buying that robe, putting it on and saying, wow, this is the reason why I kept thinking about it, why I feel a connection to it. It actually worked. I put it on and I had that extreme connection to it. So that's what made me happy. And you're right. Yeah. I think when people realize, wow, okay, maybe it's silly, but it's making him happy. And then they're thinking, why don't I do something like that? Why am I afraid to make these changes in my life?
I think we're so used to being in the comfort of our routine that anything else feels draining. I mean, I feel like some people that are so comfortable with their routine are dealing with some type of depression, some type of stress in their life. And they think, oh man, one more thing I have to work with or worry with or do. And so they just sit in front of the TV then, day in and day out in the evenings, mind numbing because they just are so used to that, the comfort, not actually, they want the change, but I don't think either they know how to or they want someone else to do it. And, and I know that sounds kind of lazy, but sometimes you're in the thick of it so much of just the comfort and the routine that, you know, you don't really think of just changing something up and it actually being positive in any way for yourself. Um, I've suffered from it.
Yeah, I think we all have.
Unfortunately.
I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. We do suffer, but these cracks in the universe also determine that too as well. We could
Mm.
continue going down a road of depression, all of us. And it seems in recent months that's the way it has been, but it doesn't have to be. Collectively, we just need to change our outlooks, and that will set us on a whole new course, and the universe will then provide for us.
Yeah, small changes, small changes. It doesn't even have to be big ones. Instead of drinking soda, you could drink water. Um, just little changes can affect the bigger outcome. Like, if that makes any sense, like just the smallest change in something could make you feel better throughout the day. Um,
Mhm.
you know, reading a book, water, you know, like I said, just sitting and playing with your kids or, not turning the television on. I mean, I feel like turning the television on is everybody's comfort routine, after work. Um, and that might be the problem. Maybe you need to get more movement in your life, or maybe you need to just read something or listen to music instead of like turning the TV on and watching like some horrible show, like
Yeah.
especially like a reality show.
Right. Yeah, we tend to fit, like, if we're in a certain mood, we tend to do everything that's based on that mood. So we'll read books that are based on that mood. We'll watch movies. So that's why you have to break that routine. You have to create these newer cracks in the universe to better yourself. And I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think us as humans, we don't have these little discussions like you and I are having right now, and we should. There's too much where, oh, well, if you're depressed, take a pill. That pill is not going to really make big changes in your life, and it may change you mentally, again, because of the chemical reaction. We need a real reaction. I think we need to really make the changes ourselves. Everything is up to the individual. I can help you, you can help me. But at the end game, if I'm providing you with an answer and you are refusing to accept that answer, you're going to continue down that road and there will be no crack in your universe. You need to make that first step. You need to decide, is that the correct answer? Will it work for me? Am I going to try it? And that's what we need to do as humans.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, I agree with that. I think that, like I say, the comfort of it, people sometimes just feel stuck, stuck in doing the same thing. I want to say midlife crisis type of situations, if you really think about it, because like in the middle of your life, you're so used to doing the same thing. Like when you're in your early 20s, not everything's the same. You could go to the gym after work, go to the club, go out to the bar, go home and play with your cats or something, or, watch TV. Like when you're in your young, early 20s, just out on your own, you're definitely doing different things every day. You're not always in the same routine. So like now that I think about it, like sometimes, midlife crisis, you're like, you want to change it up. So you want to put cracks in your universe, but those that just kind of don't go through that, just kind of stay in the same rut and keep going that way, then, that rut actually gets to be so unbearable that, that's when the midlife crisis hits type situation. So yeah, even like the smallest little things that you can do, um, can help instead of just like letting it snowball into like something awful. Cause I mean, like you get up every day. That's a really big thing. That's something you should be happy about. But we don't think about it and we don't have those deep conversations like you said, because I think it's comfortable just not discussing it, you know?
Yeah. And I think, again, I stand by this. We've been deprogrammed through life. What we are really about, we just lost a lot of that deeper connection. And we can still find it though. Again, the universe, it's infinite and it's got so many outcomes. We can change. We really can. And I like to reach out to the audience because, yeah, you may be sitting here saying, yeah, I am in this rut. Why am I not doing something that I want to do? Why am I not wanting to take that step or that chance? It's up to you. It really is. Not me. It's not Jennifer. It's not Hannah. We can give you these ideas, but ultimately it goes down to the individual and what it is you actually want and whether or not you're going to accept what you want and actually go out there and do it.
This actually gives me an idea. Like I'm going to make a list of things that I actually want to do differently instead of staying in the same cycle. Actually, I'm going to make a list and I'll share it with you here because I think it's going to be good. At least 5 things I definitely know I want to change. I mean, if I can make the list like 10, that'd be great. But I think 5, I think that's a good start for myself. And also kind of just goes along with like the New Year's resolution type thing because 2025 is coming up. I know a lot of people do the whole new year, new me. They stick with it for about a week or two and then it goes down. I'm not going to wait till 2025. I'm going to actually make a list, and I mean, they don't even have to be big things that I'm going to change, but I think that's a really good start for myself. I mean, other people probably have different ideas of how to start that um for themselves, but for me, I'm a list maker. I think making a list would actually be helpful, you know. Um but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Lists are great. And that's how I live my life. I like to, like, if I'm happy with something, I'll continue to do it. The second I'm no longer happy with it, that's it. I have no problem cutting it off and trying something else. And I think that's what keeps things original. It keeps things fresh. It's no different than this podcast, keeping things different, changing things up when they need to happen. And that's the way life goes. And with
Yeah.
that, I would like to thank you, Jennifer, for joining me here for sure. I I really appreciate everything, and I want to let the audience know. Like I've had conversations with Jennifer on my own time, and some of them they're like 4 hours long, and it helps me go through my day. She's got a
Yeah.
lot to add, and as time goes on, I really really hope that no matter what happens, even with Hannah's return, I'll still have Jennifer here in some way, shape, and form. She has so much to lend. I also want you all to go back into my collection, eyeopenersociety.podbean.com. And don't forget, Anne Lund's Haunted and Waiting, another great podcast. Visit her blog, hauntedandwaiting.blog. Elaine's arcanetarot.com for Elaine's Arcane Oracle podcast. Another first of the month. It's amazing because it helps you with your entire planning of the month through horoscopes and tarot readings. And my favorite, Sunset Child's Out There podcast. Sunset Child is absolutely amazing and has such a different perspective on life. I want you to check out all of those shows. And a couple of friends of mine, Chris Artell from Twisted Tales podcast, check out his show on Spotify. Check out Ouch, Was That a Ghost? And don't forget to check out my other favorite, Swales, the Friendly Green Witch, the Bell Witch podcast. She is absolutely amazing, and I adore her shows, and I really connect so deeply with them. I want to thank those guys, too, for just bringing out such great stuff. And also, the Josh and Paulie show is back. They came back with their What Would You Rathers. So definitely give them all a chance. I appreciate everybody for listening. Jennifer, I thank you 100%. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody is definitely going to accept you. Don't worry about anything. Just keep being confident, keep being yourself. And that's what I like about you. So don't forget to tune in every Monday for our shows. And don't forget, we've got a big one coming up with Jen from MindsEye Metaphysical coming up. And Hannah will be on that show. And that should be here on the 23rd. I thank everybody for listening. Have a wonderful day.